Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, sponsor Loinish Fasheim Yaakov Shalom Navasitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Samichei, starting on Mudalef in the top in the Mishnah. Look the Mishnah. Baal Oiv. Who's the Baal Oiv? Ze Pitoy. And Bidaber Mishichya. So Baal Oiv is a certain type of sorcery where he brings up the mace, he speaks to the dead. What's the right, in English you have this concept, they speak to the dead.
Sorcerer.
The source, right?
Sorcerer is that it's
and he speaks from his armpit. So he brings there's a certain way he brings the mace up to his armpit and he talks.
With shmol?
Yeah, so with chol. The chol brought chol. Yeah. That's Yidoini. Yidoini is another what's brought in the Torah. Samedaber bepiv. He speaks in his mouth. As Rashi brings, what you're going to see in the Gemara, there's a bone. He puts a bone called Yidoini in his mouth, and then the mace comes up to that. For this, you have skilo. Someone who just asked, as Rashi brings over here, the Shol asks, that was Bazar, that's a law, you're not allowed to do it. So they go, my shnoch diktani ba'aloiv Yidoini, my shnoch abekrisus diktani ba'aloiv v'shayar le'yidoini. So here we mentioned what you have skilo. In the second krisus, it brought down the list of all the krisus that you have. And it mentions the ba'aloiv as kuris. And it doesn't say Yidoini. Why does it mention it? It goes together. Why doesn't it mention Yidoini as a kuris? Says the Gemara, in other words, they're both written the same lav. It says, it's all together, and it's the same lav, and therefore what? So if he's also he's chayav only chatas achat. Why? So Rashi is, we'll see the Gemara, the lavim or mechalkim. By doing a lav, every lav gives you your own chatas. But if you do it together, if it's the same lav, it's only one chatas. And you know it's only one curse. You want to say that the idea is the list of creases that we mentioned, sales creases, is ones that if you do all of them, you have all of them. Here, if you do both of them, you have only one curse. There's no ma'aseh by Yidoini. So therefore you're not chayav on that curse. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, each one of them has curse, but not both together. So why you mention Ba'aloi more than Yidoini? Should the pot because that's what the pasuk mentioned first. Shlokish my time Shlokish not say like Rabbi Yochanan that it was that it's the same curse. We do mention a difference between miso, meaning when you talk about the skilo, so then it says either or. So it's not the same thing. It says misa on each one. So once it's misa on each one, there's chatas on each one as well. It says the Gemara, the vision for chatas has to be lav, not misa. So if it says both lavim, you get two chatas. If it says one lav and two misas, you get one chatas. Why didn't he say there's no ma'aseh? It says we're going there according to Rabbi Kiva. And how do you know that? Because Rashi says, it says the Megadif. Megadif, as we mentioned briefly in the previous daf, the Megadif is the Megadif is Eva Maisa. It's not doing a Maisa Megadif. Rabbi Kiva holds the Megadif is enough to be chayav even though there's no Maisa. So you see we're going to this Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva holds you don't need a Maisa. That's why Yidoini, even though there's no Maisa, you should be chayav. Shlokish Ne'id Le'bayi Rabbi Kiva Maisa Rabo Maise zuto boy. He doesn't need a big maise. He needs a small maise. What's a big maise? A small maise. He doesn't have to do something. Rabban know they do shchita. You have to do zrika. Hashtachavayo bowing down is not enough. Migadev is not enough. Give a hold. Hashtachavayo bowing down or talking, moving the lips is a maise. But doing nothing is not a maise. When a person does Yidoini, Rashi says putting the bone in his mouth is not the maise. The maise is when the mace comes. When the mace comes, he's not doing anything. It just goes on its own. My Maiseiko. So it says the Gemara, the begad of my Maiseiko. Akima Svaso Maise. Moving the lips is the Maise. Baloi Ma Maiseiko. Akosha Zroi, so Vava Maise. What is Baloi? Baloi, he needs to move his arms in order for the armpit to talk.
We have a concept Hechshem Mitzvah Mitzvah. So I want to say Hechshem.
We don't, yeah, but that not for the Maise. Not for the Maise. Hechshem Mitzvah is not for a Maise Mitzvah. It's good for other things, but not for Maise. Maise you have to do the Mitzvah itself.
Yeah.
Does that work even according to Rabbanon that it's a ma'aseh with the hands? Bow down we saw before. It's Rabbi Shlokish says that's according to Rabbi Kiva, according to Rabbanon, that's not good enough to just to bow down. According to Rabbanon, Rabbi Yochanan says no, bowing down is a ma'aseh. Bowing down is not a ma'aseh. So one understands bowing down your whole body is more a ma'aseh than moving your arms. In Mamish, the whole body more down. You say that's not good, that's not enough of a ma'aseh. So moving your arms is not a ma'aseh either. This is what you're right. He says our Mishnah that says the Baal Oiv Yuchayov is according to Rabbi Kiva that you don't have to have a ma'aseh. So the Yachi Yotzo Migadif Ubal Voiv Bibayli. When it says that it says over there, it says Rabbanon hold the Migadif is not Chayav. Then why only Migadif? So Baal Oiv doesn't do a ma'aseh. He's only moving his arms. Hello Amaru. So what's it not? Rule changes. B'mikater the shade. Baal Oiv that we're talking about is a ma'aseh. Which ma'aseh? He's not talking about someone who just moves his arms. Talking about somebody who is doing aktara. He's giving food in front of a shade, sort of some kind of a spirit, and that's considered to be a full ma'aseh. I mean, he's doing for a shade. That's avodah zarah. That's considered to be avodah zarah. So, by the way, this is one of the questions they had. The Rambam says that when a person is mishtachah avodah zarah, not because he wants to make it as a god, he just is fearing the avodah zarah. So that's considered to be avodah zarah. So they ask it from here: mishtachah v'lashem, mishtachah v'lashem, mishtachah v'lashem. Mishtachah v'lashem is when a person is bowing down to the spirit, not because he makes it avodah zarah, right? Talking about that he does a ketara to the chaver. What's a chaver? The chaver is the one who puts together the animals. That's the type of thing. Chaver means put down animals. It's different. It says in the pasuk, chaver cheder, shoyloif, v'yidoyni v'dor shlomesi. So chaver cheder is putting the animals together. It says the Gemara, so well, you're right. There's two chayver chevers. There's a chayver chever where you put animals together only, and that's only allowed. And then when you have a chayver chever that puts shading together, and that's considered to be skila, right? So it's two different. There's putting together animals, putting together shadim, and we're talking about oiv is putting together shadim to bring that in the mace. It's not mekatel shadim. It's putting together. And that is chayav. It's a ma'aseh. It's chayav skila. Okay. So the what Torah chayver chaver. Now we mention chayver chaver. So go to chayver chaver. So what is it going to say till now? That oiv efshar is not what we understood. The oiv is doing something with his arms and bringing up the armpit, because that's not a ma'aseh according to Rabbanon. So what will be according to Rabbanon oiv? He is bringing together some shadim, and together he's putting them as a to speak to the mason. So what is that? Bring animals together with some kind of a sorcery. It doesn't matter if it's big animals or small animals, or snakes and scorpions as well. He brings it, even if he wants to do it. What is a filu? Even though he's doing it for a good purpose, he doesn't want to have snakes and scorpions hurting people. Still a problem. Someone who collects together a bee and a scorpion, the main purpose of the also. Okay, that's what we mentioned. Let's go back to Rabbi Yochanan. Holds that bowing down is a ma'aseh, and that is a ma'aseh. So why moving your lips is not a ma'aseh? In what case? Because he says the megadif according to Rabbanon. Rish Lakish holds the bowing down is only according to Rabbi Kiva works. According to Rabbanon not. Rabbanon disagrees. Rabbanon says bowing down is also according to Rabbanon. It's considered to be a ma'aseh. But megadif is not a ma'aseh. Why is megadif not a ma'aseh? Because he's just moving his lips. Moving his lips, not considered to be a ma'aseh. So Gemara says, If so, what's the difference? What's the difference between bowing down and moving your lips? Says the Gemara, Marova, Shani Migadef, Oil V'Yeshnoi Belev. You know what Migadef? The guy's not moving your lips. I mean, obviously, without moving the lips, it doesn't work. You have to move the lips. But if a person moves his lips and said something, it didn't mean Migadef means he's cursing Kavi Mal. He's not meaning he's using the name of Hashem. He doesn't mean Hashem. He's calling of a desire or anything else with the name of Hashem. It's not proper to do it with Tisha Shavai Levatala, but he's not chayav the skilo of Migadef. He needs to have kavanah. So moving your lips is not enough. You need to have kavanah too. That's why it's not considered to be a mice. Something more that's Sarachem with base. Meisi Rav Zeiro. Yotzu Eidim Zoymimim Shein Be'em Maise. So by Eidim Zoymim there's no Maise. Why? If you say that moving the lips is a Maise, so Eidim Zoymim do have a Maise. They move the lips. They don't need the heart. Just by Eidim, it doesn't matter what the heart is. Omarov Shani Eidim Zoymim or you'll be Yeshto Bekoyim. Eidim Zoymim is not so much the moving of the lips, it's the voice. Very hard to understand what the happening in the Gemara is. And that voice is not moving the lips. Someone went and made and caused an animal not to eat. An animal is working in the field, she has to have the ability to non-muzzle her and allow it to eat from the field. If you scream at her, says, don't eat! And then not just didn't eat, even though he didn't put a muzzle, it's a problem, even though he did it with his coil. Also, he did kilayim by moving the animal by screaming at it. Again, moving the lips. Now, what the Gemara maybe one direct to understand is the Gemara understood that by Avodah the main thing is to say the words by Migadef. Now, what happens if you say the words very quietly? Saying the words is a kimas losov. Beidus, if you say it very quietly, you can't hear you. That's not Eidus. So the main purpose of Eidus is they have to say it out loud. So he's going to move his lips as well, but he has to say it out loud. That's not a ma'aseh. One said that's like considered a ma'aseh. So what is a ma'aseh? If I'm using my voice with the lips together, it's a ma'aseh as we see by behema. So you see, yes, even when you're using a voice, we're referring more to the lips. So we see over here that then you also go with the lips. So again, I already want to understand, but the Eidim Zoyim depends on Biriyah with what they saw. What is it with what they saw? That if they see, then Eidim Zoyim. If they didn't see it, then they're Eidim Zoyim. So the Riyah determines if they're Eidim Zoyim or not. It's not so much the talking. The talking really depends on what they saw. So it depends on Riyah. Riyah is not a mice. Okay. So Oiv speaks between the prokim, in other words, between one of the knuckles of his fingers, or his armpit. Yidoini is putting a bone into his mouth. It says your voice will be like an oiv. She talks like a regular talking. It doesn't talk. In other words, sorry. The question is, it says the mace is talking directly from the grave. Well, no, it's coming up. The mace comes up to the knuckles. It talks with him. It says the shoal. She saw Shmuel coming up. Coming from literally from the ground. Again, he speaks once it comes to the knuckles. Another way of Ba'aloiv, schura means his aver. He brings the mace to his aver and he's able to talk to him. Or he brings it on a gulgoilus, which means a skull, dead skull. So one is malib schura, the mace comes up upside down, head down, feet up. Doesn't come with Shabbos. We'll see the more in a moment. Doesn't come with Shabbos. The Shabbos Gulgelis, if he's asking a skull, Oile Kedarki goes up in the normal way. Oile b'Shabbos. It says more. Oile leichasolik akayamonech. What's the oile? Oile. Oile means it's coming up. It's not coming up because it's right in front of him. It's not considered oile. because we're talking about the Gulgolos is right in front of him. And the Sechur is right in front of him. In other words, not he answers normally, and so Rashi explains over here. In other words, he says the mace is not leaving. The mace stays where it is. It's just a spirit coming up. So what does it mean? So Rashi says oinik kedarko, which means he answers normally from the cave. He doesn't have to go up to Ben Afrakim. But if it's b'schuro, he has to go up to the hands or to the back to the schuro of the mace of the one who's mala'oif. This is one of the discussions that Shofas Rasha had with Rabbi Akiva. It says, why is Shabbos more important than any other days? Why are you more important than other people? He says, because the master, meaning the king, the Caesar, he wants me to be in charge. Shabbos now means the Moed Sovi. So Shabbos, Hakadosh wants it to be the main day. So who says that today is Shabbos? How do you know today is Shabbos? It's the 7th day. Who said? Sidal told you. Now that the only was this river, it throws rock every day of the week except Shabbos. Baal Oiv Yuchiach. Baal Oiv also. You can't bring a Baal Oiv on Shabbos. Kivrish Lov Yuchiach. In the grave of Tunisrofas Yuchiach, Shein Ma'al Hashem Shabbos. He has a smoke coming out of it the whole week because of the anger Shmuel had with him, but not on Shabbos. You're mevazeh me or my father and embarrassed me and kilalto. So because he said that his father has smoke coming out of him. So the Ma'aseh, you see over here that we see that Shabbos, the idea that Shabbos Oiv doesn't come up. It says more Shoyel Oiv, I know Dorish Shalom Eisim. It says in the pasuk we mentioned Dorish Shalom Eisim. That's part of the pasuk. So he says speaking to the dead. So that's Shoyel Oiv. What's the difference? It says the Gemara, Dorish Shalom Eisim, Kedatanya of Dorish Shalom Eisim. Someone who goes in, he's in hunger, doesn't eat for a while, and then he sleeps in the biskvaris. What happens? The spirits come to him. So that's a different type of Maloi is bringing the spirit up. Here it's a little different. It's a shade. It's a shade of biskvaris. Rashi says it's not bringing the mace up. Kiva came to this. Pasuk, he started crying. Why? So like this. Someone who puts all his effort, he wants the shade to come. So what does he do? He goes in hunger and he sleeps in his kvaris and he's going to be successful because he really wants it. So someone who puts the effort, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be shayra on him. Of course, it will work. Why doesn't it really work? That person does his harava and it'll bring up, it should be that you should get it, you should have nevuah. Averis calls you not to be so close, you can't do ruach taharo, even if you do everything you can. Omar Rabbi says, by the way, both tzaddikim, boral, tzaddikim could create the world. In other words, the reason why you're not like a kishmoch, like a bayre, because you have averis between you and Hashem. If not, you'll be able to be a creator. Says the Gemara, the Gemara says, Rabbo, bro, Rabbo Borogavo. He created a pet man, meaning he created a goyim. From where? Sefer Yitzir, Rashi says, putting Sefer Yitzir together, he was able to create a goyim. Shabbat Gamin Dav Zero. Son Dav Zero. Have the Kabishtab Ba'adei V'lav the Commandal. He's talking to him, he's not answering. You were created by the friends. Go back to the ground. So, because you see from here, the goyim can't talk. You create a goyim, you can't give him the power of speech. There were every Erev Shabbos learned Sefer Yetzirah. They ate egel tilto. Was egel tilto? Rashi says not. Usually it means the third one to be born. It was delicious, like the third one to be born. And they ate it. So you know the Sefer Yetzirah, and they actually are able to eat the meat. What is moinen? What he does, he takes semen for 7 different people, and he puts it on his eyes, and that's he does kshaf, he does sorcery with that. This is something very hard to understand. What's oiches esainaim? A regular magician. Ashi says, he's doing things, it looks like he's doing magic, but he's really not doing it. So that's really a regular magician. Question is, what does it mean? It means you can't be a magician? Repeat this. He wants that to mean, we have to be behind this. He has like signs. Right? Today is good to go out on a trip. Tomorrow is good to buy things. Or limudei arvi shviyos. He says it's good to have before shviyos that then things grow better. Chitim yofos means it'll be good wheat. Ikuri kidneyos mehiyois rois. In other words, someone who cuts off kidneyos and doesn't cut it true, it doesn't harvest it, so it won't get spoiled. So it's a sign how to do it. So he's doing signs, right? He's doing different,
Not sorcery, just doing signs.
not sorcery. It's more like signs, more like what would be the word?
An exercise.
Yeah, like this side shows this side shows this. What goes on? It says Torah about Menachesh. What's Menachesh? Zalaimer, but Peter naflo piv, maklo naflo miyodoi. If the food fell from his mouth, that's a bad sign, a bad omen. His stick fell from his hand, that's a bad omen. B'noi koyru l'ma'achor, his son fell from his back, a bad omen. Oyrev koyru, there's a bird, a raven calling him. Tzviv sikovadech, a deer goes in front of him. Nachash b'yamino, there's a snake in his right. Shul mismoilo, or there's a fox in his left. Yeshiva Daf, other examples. Al tatchil bi shachris. You want me to pay the loan? Don't come in the morning because it's a bad sign, bad omen to start the day with paying loans. Don't come to me in the first day of the month, but the Shabbos or the first moment of the week. Right? What is all that called? That's basically different omens a person has. What do we call it today? Superstitious. Superstitious does menachesh. Torah v'lo senachesh v'lo yisoyinu kigon elo menacheshim bechuldo v'oifois u'bedogim. What's menacheshim? They look to try to get signs from a weasel, from birds, from fish. That's what they want to do. So that's lo senacheshu. So we learned over here senacheshu. That's one thing. Lo yisoyinu is someone who's either a magician or someone who puts me in his zocher in his eyes. And then you have Choy is putting all the animals together. Sherel Oiv is bringing the mace up. Feed Oini is with a bone. Fedor Shalamesi is sleeping in the Beskvaras. Different types of sorcery, witchcraft, and other good zachen that you're not allowed to do with your race. The Seder Gomor will stop over here. Continue from the mission of Yisrael Hashem tomorrow night.